Hello, LinkedIn. This is hashtag Askarecruiter. I have Mac Wilhelm with me from the Free King Group. He's the Senior Talent Acquisition Advisor. Mac, welcome, and thanks for participating in this video series.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it, and yes, I do work here at the Free King Group as a Senior Talent Advisor. I have about 15 years of experience in recruiting space.
Great, and what is the Free King Group primarily focused on?
Well, we are, the primary focus, of course, is automotive, but we have other businesses, anywhere from the safari to high-end hotels to, aviation. And of course, we do have multiple companies within the Free King Group. So we're in various industries, as you can tell, movie productions and also a marketing group, Gulf States marketing. So we have different companies within the Free King Group.
Great. So some great perspective coming ahead, and we will move on to question one after this.
Very good.
Okay, perfect. So the first one will be, and do you have a better angle or story to take it in terms of the culture? So culture is obviously a big word within HR. So I think what I coach candidates is obviously to be qualified and present themselves, but oftentimes they don't get hired maybe because they're not a fit for the culture. So some of the questions I get are, how do I really go in and show that I fit that culture without, rehearsing the company's website, or, how do I demonstrate that fit? So that's what I'll ask you about.
Okay.
So you think, set it up on the interview side or just the overall process?
I think one of the key things you have to do as a candidate is research the company, right? As you said, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Glassdoor and find out more about the company and see, things like, does the company work with veterans? Are you a veteran? Does the company do any nonprofit work? Have you done some of that in the past, or do you have knowledge in that? And I think going back and researching the company, you can always find some things that maybe you are passionate about, and then you can discuss those things during the interview. And
yeah. So how do they make it stand out maybe in a cover letter? Maybe I'll ask about that. Or
if you want to do a cover letter, you can put, for example, like our company, we're very big in veteran hiring. If you're a military vet, you can put on your cover letter how many years or when did you serve in the military? Okay. Not too long, just a short sentences, about your background.
Good. All right.
Yes.
Hello, LinkedIn. This is hashtag Askarecruiter. I am back with Mac Wilhelm from the Free King Group. The question today, Mac, how can a candidate demonstrate their fit into a work culture? A lot of the time, candidates may set themselves up well in terms of their qualifications, but the ultimate feedback or thought that they have walking away from the hiring process is that they weren't really a fit for the culture. How can they best demonstrate that they're a fit into a work culture?
I think you can do a lot of, again, when you do research, you can find out more about the company, right? But also you can explain what you've done in the past compared to what the company is doing. Let's say the company is in pharma or it's in automotive. Have you had any automotive experience in the past? But also, when you read more about the company online, you can find out, for example, people there, they like people maybe who are very highly, driven. And then you can discuss those things, how are you motivated, or how are you highly driven, So it begins with really researching about the company online, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, company website. But you have to be very honest and discuss how, are you laid back? Is the company laid back, or is the company very super active? Those are things that you can really align and see and look at your background and see what are some of the things that you've done that aligns to, the culture of the company.
Great. Thank you, Mac. That's a great tip.
Good.
Okay. So the next one, best advice for candidates with an employment gap.
first of all, you have to be.
I'll start one in one
Okay.
second. Hello, LinkedIn. This is hashtag Askarecruiter. I am back with Mac Wilhelm, Senior Talent Advisor at the Free King Group. Today's question, Mac, the best advice for a candidate that has a gap in their employment.
Well, I think first of all, you have to be honest. Honesty is a very key thing. But also, if it's in a resume, I'd rather you put a short explanation. Let's say you are in a military deployment, or you are taking care of a sick parent. I think that's kind of key. Let's say you have a gap for 2 years. It's good to kind of put a short information on your resume to kind of help the recruiter or the hiring manager understand what did you do in the last 2 or 3 years or the 1 year gap.
Yeah, great. And if they have a situation like that with the family or another situation that they left a job, how would you want them to present maybe some of the skills they learned? Obviously, the best advice is to continue learning while you're in your gap or continue to grow professionally. But is there a good way for them to relate that within that resume?
Yeah, they can. But also, if let's say you're taking care of a sick person, you don't have time to really invest in yourself. But then you might have learned how to be more patient, right? You may have learned more customer service dealing with the hospital, doctors or nurses, but do not over communicate. Don't go into too much details. Just give enough information, and if the interviewer asks for more, then you can add some more information. But I find out a lot of candidates kind of over communicate and they go too much into the details that's really unnecessary.
Great, that's wonderful advice. Thank you, Mac.
Good.
All right, so the next one, handling behavioral interview questions and what you look for. So when I do like my interview coaching, obviously behavioral interview questions are something candidates are not always comfortable with. Tell me about a time that and they don't really know what to tell. And kind of the bottom line, as you know, is you can kind of read between candidates that might not really have the experience. So
yeah. This is very common. First of all, the biggest tip is it's okay to take a moment and take a deep breath or even drink some water. That kind of clears your thought a little bit. But you have to understand behavior question is we're trying to see how this person is going to behave, or the past behavior is most likely going to predict how they're going to behave in the near future.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for you to really maybe explain what did you learn in the past, and that kind of gives a recruiter or even a hiring manager an opportunity to see that you're adaptable, but also you learn from maybe some mistakes or even some opportunities that you've had in the past.
Good. All right. Hello again, LinkedIn. This is hashtag Askarecruiter. I am back with Mac Wilhelm from the Free King Group. Today's question, Mac, I get a lot of candidates come to me and we work on behavioral interview questions, and obviously they're a little bit of a challenge, but I wanted to ask you, what are you looking for in the behavioral interview questions, and what advice can you give candidates on them?
I think in the behavior question, we're looking at past experiences, but also past situation. How did you handle past situations is most likely going to predict how you're going to behave in the near future. So this is usually a good opportunity to discuss what you've learned in the past in different situations. But also remember, it's okay to pause or take a sip of water and kind of gather your thoughts before you answer, but also don't go too deep into explanation. So this is a very good opportunity for you to really explain what have you learned in the past, what are some situations that were challenging, and how have you grown from those situations.
Great, that's wonderful advice. Thank you, Mac.
Good.
All right, the final one, I'd have a little fun with this. The best tip you can give candidates in 60 seconds or less.
Oh,
yeah. So if you got one lined up, we'll go for it.
Okay, I am. So I think dress for success.
Hello, LinkedIn. This is hashtag Askarecruiter. Today's 60-second tip is coming from Mac. Mac, what is the best advice you can give candidates in 60 seconds or less, and I will start the clock now.
Dress for success, always be prepared, always ask questions. Don't forget to send a thank you note, especially if you didn't get a job. That's very important.
Great, and the thank you note, real quick, the thank you note should be addressed to the hiring manager or the HR person that interviewed them, or should you copy everyone?
Whoever interviewed you, you can send multiple thank you notes to whoever interviewed you. And you can try and get that information from the recruiter. Sometimes you may have to send that information to the recruiter and they have to forward it to the people or the panel that interviewed you.
Great. Thank you, Mac.
You're welcome.
All right, that was good.
Yeah, well, you think it was good?
Got a lot of